What's good? What's good? It's the one and only boy. Do I know boxing coming back at y'all with another one, man. So we got the Charlo twins in the news. First and foremost, let me just state happy birthday. I think I'm gonna go ahead and upload this one today. It wouldn't make no sense for me to upload it the other day if I said that. But happy birthday to the Charlo twins, man. They are, recently, maybe about a month ago, Jermall Charlo posted a picture on Instagram with them training together, and I think that was an amazing gesture. It's good to see them linked up or back, together or whatnot. If you guys don't know, they have a very rocky relationship. Jermall, Charlo, and Jermell. They went a long time without talking. The first time it was actually publicized of them not seeing eye to eye was actually, I want to say, in 2000 and I want to say it was like 2019 or 2020. It might have been 2020. Jermell had uploaded a video going off on Jermall and bringing his wife into the situation, and even got to the point where they were talking about his wife fighting Jermall's wife. Then Jermall did the video or uploaded the video with them. Him calling Jermell. They were on, I think Jermall was like going out to eat with his wife or whatnot. And the first time I realized, like, that was when I first realized, okay, I guarantee you their issues Jermell's issues from Jermall stems with Jermall and his wife. Because I'll never forget, Jermell said something in that interview that was, that stuck out to me. He said, I told you not to marry her. And to me, that kind of indicates like the dude just, maybe he sees red flags. And I don't want to get too deep into that because, bro, regardless, that happens to all of us, man. When you're deep when you're in a situation and you're all in love, it's hard for you to really, it might not even be hard, but it's like often we overlook red flags when we are blind by love or whatnot. So I don't hold Jermall against that, but regardless, that I feel like that's where the issue stem from with Jermell or whatnot. Then obviously, they bump heads again. It was actually sad because, for one, Jermell's wife or his girlfriend attacked Jermall's wife on the eve of Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford. And if you guys don't remember, that was just a bad night for Jermall Charlo's household because, Jermall had gotten into the incident with Caleb Plant and his wife, got hands put on her by Jermell's, spouse or whatever. And I don't want to speak too much on Jermall's wife. She done already commented on one of my videos going off on me or whatever. Don't need those problems, all right? Because I see what you did to Jermall. So I don't want those problems. But I will say, man, like, it's good to see them back together. It was very sad, man. I was very sad when after Jermall fought Benavidez, man, and I was actually kind of shocked that Jermell wasn't there because even though they have got it to it, even if before their fights when they had the double headliner, Jermall was still there supporting Jermell and Jermell would support Jermall, but And if you guys remember the All Access, back when they did All Access, I think it was with Jermell and Brian Castano. Jermell showed their mom even spoke on it, and she had a segment on it, and she was just talking about how they get into it, and she said it. She was like, I don't like it. She was like, I don't like it because at the end of the day, we're family. You guys are all each other has. So she was like, she doesn't like it or whatnot, and she wants them to, pass her. She spoke on actually when Jermall was gonna fight, what's his name, Juan Montiel or whatnot, and then they showed it again when Jermell on his All Access, and he was looking at it, and then he linked up back with Jermall or whatnot, and then they was jogging together or whatever. But then since then they split, and then going back to what I was originally supposed to be talking about with me feeling sorry for Jermall because at the Benavidez, when he fought Jose Benavidez, he reached out and he at the post-fight conference, he was like, hey man, if you guys can get in contact with Jermell, just tell him I love him and I'm listening and I'm here for him and all this type of stuff. And you could tell Jermell just was upset now with Jermall or whatever. But now I am gonna say this here, right? I'm never gonna say whether you're blood, whether you're twins, whether it's your mom, whether it's your dad, I'm always gonna advocate for your peace first, right? I'm never gonna say you should allow anybody that disrupts your peace back into your life. And I'm not saying that Jermall was disrupting Jermell's peace. I don't know the logistics of what they were into it about. I don't know what caused them to get it. I don't know. I have speculations of what I just talked about earlier in this channel. I mean on this video, but I don't exactly know what they were into it about. So, but I will say this though, a lot of times you see people say, well, that's your family, you need to accept them for whatever, but I disagree with that. If anybody is causing any type of harm on your peace, you have to remove them, whether they're your family or not. Now, because they're your family, I always would advocate for you loving them from a distance, meaning like, you don't have to be into it, you love them or whatnot, and if they're in a time of need, if you're able to do it or if you want to do it, you can help them. But at the end of the day, just because you're my family, that doesn't mean that I'm going to have you disrupting my peace, or that doesn't mean that I have to deal with having my peace, taken away from me because we're blood. No, my peace comes before anything. My mental health comes before anything. I can't be the best version of me if my peace and my mental health isn't right. So regardless, family or not, if you disrupt my peace, you got to go. So if that's the case, because I do remember, I think it was around that time a lot of people was, kind of criticizing Jermell, saying, Jermell, you need to get in contact with your brother. And maybe he does. I'm not going to say that that Jermall is not owed a conversation. That is your brother, right? At the very least, I will say this. Before you go the rest of your life without speaking to him, y'all definitely need to have a sit down. And I'm not, and they probably had many sit downs. But regardless, bro, it has to come to some type of compromise. You have to compromise in some type of fashion of how y'all gonna operate with each other from this point on. Now, whether that means that maybe y'all being around each other is more limited, because if you guys remember them coming up, especially, you can never see one without the other, and that's a lot. That mainly happens with twins or whatnot, right? They say that what one feels, the other feels, or whatever. But that, whatever y'all can come up with, whatever agreement y'all can come up with, and y'all may, like I said, it might, have to be a situation where it's like, okay, well, obviously we can't be around each other as much, or obviously, maybe we don't need to, maybe we don't need to talk, you know what I'm saying? Or, hey, just hit me up if you need me, I'm here. If not, bro, we just go our separate ways or whatever. I always got your back, but it is what it is. Like, whatever the situation it may be, I would never say that you should just not stop talking to your sibling. Don't get what I said earlier misconstrued. I'm always gonna advocate that I would never feel like you should just stop talking to your sibling or whatnot. But if your sibling is disrupting your peace, then again, that doesn't mean that they have to be in your circle just because y'all are blood. You don't choose who you're related to. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, while a lot of people, a lot of people don't understand that. But I do. I understand that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just understand how mental health works. And again, but it's good that they're back together. I mean, it's good to see them celebrating their birthday together, at least. It's good to see that they seem to be in a good space with each other. Maybe they know how to deal with each other. A lot of people don't realize, like, you have to learn how to deal with certain people. That's very important. So, maybe they're at that point now where they can do that. I'm pretty sure it took counseling involved. Maybe, nothing wrong with that. Therapy, their mother, their family, or whatever. I believe they both were trained because they got an older brother. Both of them. They have an older brother. Maybe, you just never know. But I'm just glad to see that they're, them rocking together. Jermall is fighting next weekend, so I look forward to seeing him return. He's been very inactive. Would love to see him get his career back in line. Jermell, I don't know when he's fighting. They haven't announced anything, but I predicted this. If you guys watch my videos, go back and watch my assessment over the Charlo Canelo Alvarez fight. If you go watch that video, I predicted this. I stated that Jermell Charlo, I guarantee you, he's going to be either gone for at least a year and a half to 2 years out of the ring. Now, after this fight with Canelo Alvarez, he'll be out of the ring for about about 2 years, a year and a half, in between a year and a half and 2 years, and it's looking like that's what's going to end up happening. At least I got, I definitely got that part right. But I'm looking forward to seeing Jermall Charlo come back. I heard that he's gonna return to 154. I don't know how I feel about that. I would probably rather him go down to 160 or whatever. But regardless, I mean, look, the dude became undisputed at 154. So whatever he wants to do now is up to him. I always feel like, man, a fighter, like, and maybe they shouldn't, but I always feel like, man, I feel like a fighter should win titles in multiple weight classes. The only exception to that is if they become undisputed. Like, if you're undisputed at 154 and you retire, I feel like that should be enough for you to, not at 154, but if you're undisputed in the weight class in general and retire, that should be enough to go to the Hall of Fame, right? But I just always felt like, one of my things on a one of my things in order to make it to the Hall of Fame, for lack of better words, one of the things I like for fighters to do is to win multiple weight classes, multiple champions in different weight classes. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, unless if you become undisputed, then that's cool. You know what I'm saying? That's enough for me. So I don't know. I'll be happy to see both of them come back. Jermall is on a course to fight Caleb Plant later this year. Should both of them get past their fighters, so their fight next weekend. So I'm definitely gonna look forward to that. But it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. What do you feel about Jermall and Jermell Charlo coming back, reunited, and it feels so good. But what do I know?